How you doing? Are you good? Awesome. So, we're carrying on with our journey today. We are in these new woods that I haven't been into before, and we're trying to find somewhere to make our base camp, aren't we? Remember that from last time? And I've got some things to show you today about things that you can do at home to make your own base camp at home if you want to. Okay? Now, last week we saw some amazing fungus, didn't we? Do you remember those really wonderful mushrooms that we saw? Well, I found out what they are. And I'm going to tell you what they are because I read a book and I had a look at some pictures, and then I thought, if I come back to the same place, I might be able to find them again. Hopefully they're still here, because the actual mushrooms themselves, they don't stay above ground very long. The flowers don't last very long. They go over very, very quickly.
Ellie Jane Kennard says hi from FG Castle Hill.
Hey, Castle Hill crew.
And Jamie says hi from Head Start Bella Vista.
Oh, Bella Vista crew, how are you? Are you good? Oh, I must say hello to all my wild kids everywhere, because I've got so many wild kids now. It's awesome. So I've got wild kids in Australia. I've got wild kids in Sydney. I've got wild kids in Melbourne. Hi, wild kids in Melbourne. How you doing? I've got people up in Queensland. Hi, Queensland wild kids. How are you? I've got the Sydney crew. Yo, what's up? Yeah, keeping it S. Sydney. Yeah.
Hello, Just Douglas. Thanks for coming.
Hi, Just. How are you? Looking beautiful. Now, I've got a new friend to say hello to today. He's a wild kid, and he's in England, and he's called Max. Hi, Max. How are you, mate? I heard from your mummy that you saw the Wild Kids from the other day, and you thought it was good. So, hopefully you're watching today, and I hope you enjoy it. Welcome along. Hi, Wild Kids in Cornwall. Hi, Tildref. Hi, St. Just. All these people I say hello to, I could be here all day saying hello, so I'm not going to do that anymore. Oh, hi, Abby. Hi, Frankie. Hi, Laura. Hey, Oscar. How are you, buddy? You all right? Wicked. Right, now, we were around here. We were looking around for lots of interesting things and found some interesting things. Now, I've said hello to far too many people. I'm so popular. Now, we've got to find these fungus that are on the floor, because I'm going to show you what they are and what they're called. Now, where are they? They're very sneaky. It's like fairies. They hide until they want to be seen. And that's what they do. Now, let's have a look over here. It was around here somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Let's have a look. Now, around here. They're very small and they were yellow, so they're kind of camouflaged around here. Let's see if we can find them. We've got all these bacteria seeds on the floor. And lots of tiny little shrubs. Oh, I can't find them. Where have they gone? Now, let's have a look. Ah! I found them. Now, these aren't your normal mushrooms. These fungus, they're called Romana, coral fungus. But they're just like mushrooms, just a different species. And there's lots of them in Australia, and they're very cool. They're very different shapes. Now, they do the same thing. All inside here are all the little spores, and they fall out and they'll go in here, and there's some new ones here. Look, there's some new ones growing here. Look, see, isn't it a beautiful colour? I wouldn't eat them. And there's another tiny one there, look at that one, just coming up. And it's called, they either call it Romana or coral fungus, because it looks like coral from the oceans. Okay, so I thought I'd show you that because they were so cool, weren't they? They're really cool. Okay, now, so we're into July, so in Australia it's coming into midwinter. We've just had the shortest day. So it's all good from now on in. Now, because it's winter, we're seeing some more flowers. So over here, we've got these beautiful pink beronias. that in the UK is the same colour as a pink campion that we get in the summer. So we get pink in winter in Australia and we get pink in the summer in the UK. And they're very, very beautiful. Okay, and then over here, we've got some flowers coming out of this tree here now. Look at these ones. Isn't that beautiful? Doing the same job as those little pink ones. And they need a butterfly to go in there with its big tongue and drink out all the nectar from the base of these, but doing exactly the same job as all the other flowers you see around it. Just that these little stems here, these are where the pollen is. The nectar's down there for the bees, and the pollen rubs off onto the bees here, and then they can pollinate, have seeds, make new trees. Plants are clever. Okay, let's go for a walk. So going around here, we see lots of trees falling over because we're on the top of a big hill. So, oh, look at this. Something's been digging. Now, let's have a look here. Now, they're going to be really hard to see. There's little paw prints here. Here. I don't know if you can see them. They're tiny, tiny little paw prints. Now, they've gone quite deep. Now, I wonder what did these. I wonder what made these. Could it have been bandicoots? Because of its big long nose, and it will snuffle down and look for something to eat. It could be, I can't see, I don't know, but there seem to be little like scratch marks and paw prints. So if it's just paw prints, it could be a rabbit, because they dig, don't they, trying to find somewhere to shelter. But it could be an echidna. Now, an echidna is one of my favourites, because they're all spiky and cute. Kind of like hedgehogs in the UK, but bigger spikes. And they've got claws, and they would scratch away, and they'd have a big long nose as well. And they'll be snuffling around, looking for ants to eat, because that's kind of like their fate. And termites, those are their favourite dinner. So this could be them snuffling around, looking for food. How cool is that? There's no sign, as in there's no animal droppings, there's no poop. So we can't actually see that to actually work out what was really here, because that would be a really good sign of what was actually here. But there isn't.
Hi Thomas Pardo, thank you for coming.
Hey Tom, you alright mate? How are you? Now, we're going to go through here because I want to keep out of the wind. It's a really windy day today. So, and I don't want to be all blown over because you won't be able to hear me. So, I'm going to stay in the trees and in the cover because it's more sheltered, more protection. And that's something we need to think about when we're making our den. Okay, let's go. So, more Boronias here. Beautiful little flower. Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful little thing. Okay. And we've got little butterflies flying around. You see this little guy? And he's beautiful, he's purple. Oh, he's very scared of me though. Now there's lots of flies flying around, all looking for little bits of pollen to eat and all that sugary goodness that comes from plants. So we're just going to go through this way, deep into these woods. Ooh, look at this guy. They're hard to see. It's kind of like a mayflower dragonfly. Do you see him? Look at that guy there. Did you get that one, Alex? Oh, no. Too scared. He's camera shy. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. But maybe you see him again. Now.
Thomas says, "G'day, cuz."
G'day, mate. Now, going through here, even though we're on top of a hill, it's quite dippy and there's lots of clay soil and sandy soil here, so it's quite marshy. That's why we're seeing marsh heathers and all these kind of swampy type grasses, which is really interesting because we're up high. Now here, look at this. Wow, cool, look. Look at the size of this Banksia flower. Look at that one. Testing. Can you hear me? It's like a big microphone, isn't it? Hello, you want to hear me singing song? 'Cause I'm singing tune. No? What do you mean no? Not a voice for The Voice? No? Oh, okay. Oh, but look at this anyway. So, you want to hear me sing when you can look at amazing trees like this. Now the wind has blown this tree over. And look underneath here. All the roots dangling down, and it's really springy. Watch. Boing, 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 boing. It's like a trampoline. We could do trampoline in nature. How amazing is that? So, it's still alive though. If we look up, we can see that this is a sheo because of the little acorny thingies here. They're not really acorns, and it's all green. So this is still alive. This tree is still alive. Still hanging in there. It's a beautiful tree. Doing ever so well. It's amazing. Still alive. Probably not doing any favours doing that. Okay. Now, it's amazing how that could still be alive after being falling over like that. So, let's keep going. Now, I've not been here before, so we'll have to be very careful. I've got my stick. Actually, I'll show you, because we're going into the bush really deep, I'm going to show you a few things I've got with me today. Now, I've actually got first aid kit, just in case I fall over and twist my ankle. And I've got bandages and plasters in here, in case I fall over so I can strap my leg up, which is quite an important thing if you're stuck in the bush. And because this July, I'm going to talk to you about something now that's really important actually. Now, all over the world, there's too much plastic, isn't there? There's plastic bottles, plastic cups, plastic plates, and we're throwing them all away. And it's filling up all of the dustbins really quickly, and we can't recycle all of it sometimes. We can, but sometimes we can't. And we need to reuse and repurpose things. So, instead of having plastic water bottles, I use this, which is a metal water bottle. And it keeps it cool as well. And you probably got these. I know your drinks bottles at all the when you go to your playgroups and children's centres, you always have these, don't you? Do you take them with you when you go for walks? Because that's a really good idea, to take these with you. So I've got those. But then when I want to have a drink, I can use a jam jar. So if I want to have a drink, but I don't want to drink out of the bottle because we're sharing, here we are. People pay a fortune to drink out of jars in fancy schmancy cafes in Sydney. There you go, Mr. Cameraman.
Thank you.
Voila!
Thank you very much.
It's a cup. Amazing. Now,
And watering the plants as well.
and we're watering the plants as well. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So, that's one thing we can do. We don't have to use plastic all the time. And we don't have to buy plastic drink bottles from the supermarket, because those bottles aren't actually very good for us either. The ones, the plastic ones at the supermarket. So you're better off getting a water filter, parents. Get one of those instead. Anyway, I've got some more things to show you in a minute about plastic. Should we keep going? Let's go. So through here, look, you can see these great big bits of rock. There's no soil on top of them, but plants are still trying to find a way to live on them. And look at this one. This isn't scribbly gum. This is like full of graffiti. Look at that, all these scribbles. Now remember, all these scribbles are because of tiny, tiny little grubs and these little moths that live inside here all through the winter. And they are protected by the bark of the tree. Now look, if I pull this one out, see all the scribbles there? So if I flip it around, look at that. These are the tracks on the inside that the little moth grub has eaten to make his little roots through. So when the tree in spring gets new bark, it sheds its bark. This is what it is on the floor. All this is bark from this tree. Look at this. There, see? And it all starts to rot down. Look at this fungus here, look. It's all starting to rot. And that means it's all breaking down, it's all going into the soil, and that nutrients is all going into the soil. It's clever. Nature has an amazing way of keeping everything going. So clever. Cleverer than us humans. We just keep chopping it all down, don't we? It's not good. I've got something to show you. I found a thing. And it's not doing very well at camouflaging. Who knows what camouflage is? When you disguise yourself, like, and make yourself the colours that are around you so you don't get eaten. Now, this guy here is a caterpillar. You see him? Look at this guy. Now, he's bright green. He should be up in the trees. But the wind has probably blown him down. Now, I don't know which end is which. Has he got little... Is he back to front, this one? Oh, I don't know if he's going to turn into a chrysalis. Now I'm going to take a picture of him and find out what he is, and I'll tell you about him next week. Is that alright? Beautiful. Okay, should we keep going? Should we leave him to it? So we don't want to draw too much attention and just he gets eaten by a kookaburra. Something like that. Anyway, let's go. So as we're walking along the top here, the trees have made a big blanket up in the canopy, and they're trying to take up all the way the leaves are spread out, trying to catch all that beautiful sunlight. But because they're tall, the sunlight is now hitting the ground. So these smaller trees and shrubs have now got a chance of growing because the sunlight can hit them. That's why we've got these little beautiful Baronias growing here. And those devil mountain plants. And look, here's another type of a Baronia, but it's just a different colour pink. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, let's keep walking. Oh, I'm glad I got my stick just in case, because this is snake country. So with my stick and me banging it around, I am telling snakes that I'm here, and that means that they'll slither away from us, because around here, I know, because remember I picked up that snake skin, I found that snake skin? Well, this was in this region because it was just over there that we found it, wasn't it? In another place, and I found out what kind of snake that was, and it was a brown snake. Now, brown snakes can be very, very poisonous and very deadly, and they can be a bit mean, so we have to be careful of those. So having my stick, walking around, giving things a tap and stomping around, actually lets them know we're here. And sometimes you want to see an animal like an echidna or a wombat, other times you don't, like snakes. I do like snakes though. Okay. Now what have we got here? Look. Now you see here, see these spiders' webs here? Now look at this thing here. I don't know if you can see those. Look, there's little spider eggs. I don't know if you can see them. It's a little bit hard to focus. Yeah. But those are spider eggs, and they'll hatch and turn into tiny baby spiders. And they'll do the hunting and eating up all the flies, because there's lots of flies and bugs around here, so it's a really good place to grow your babies. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, we're really in the bush now. There's hardly any wind, so it's really nicely sheltered. More scribbly gum. Oh, there's a blackbuck here. Now this is a blackbuck gum here. Now, so there's lots of different species, which is really good, because the more different species there are of trees and plants, the more different animals that can be here as well, which is really important for biodiversity and giving all these other animals, wonderful animals, a chance to survive and thrive in this really quite difficult and challenging environment. Now look at here. So this tree's nearly completely gone, and it's burnt. Look at this. There's been a fire here. Look, this is really burnt. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious me. Look at that. Wow. And the termites have been in here too. You can see that they've had a little go. Wow, look at this. This is cool. Yeah, but it's still alive. Even though it's all burnt, they're so tough, these trees. And look at this, is all this earth here and mud. This is all for termites to protect themselves. Let's see if I can find any. No, they've all moved on. They've all moved on from that one. Who can blame them? Now down here though, look at this guy. Now down here, this is nature doing its thing. So it's all broken up. It's still a bit moist. So we've got lots of little ants in here, breaking everything down. See them? See these guys? Look, there's a mushroom here. That mushroom's doing its job as well. That'll be helping breaking down this. It's still quite moist, so it's very soft. So that means that the animals that like eating the wood, omnivores and detritivores and herbivores, they eat all the wood. See all the fungus here? Look at that. And then the carnivorous bug eaters come along. So your echidnas. There you go, look. There's a load of ants. See them all working away in there? Let's put that back, because it's going to get a bit exposed. And all the fungus here, look at that, isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? That's cool. Okay, well, I'm going to put that back, leave that there, and keep walking. Just keep walking through the woods. Now, we're coming to the other side of the hill now. You can actually feel that wind. But we've got these big flat pieces of rock that might be good to actually build our den. Let's have a look over here. Might be somewhere around here might be quite good actually. Let's find a nice flat area. You need a flat area to build on. Ah, look. No, it's a bit small here, but it could be good. But I think it might be a little bit snaky. So, what we're finding now is how amazing are these plants. All these big bits of rock are exposed, hardly any soil at all. But they can still grow, and all those roots from all these little plants are all clinging together, all the bits of soil, which means more soil stays, which means more plants. And the more plants, the more stable the ground. Let's go through these bushes here. Oh, goodness me. These are beautiful. What a beautiful place. We are so lucky. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Yeah, we're coming down to the other side. You can see out into the big valley now. And look, there's a baby Banksia. You know those big old gnarly old Banksias that we see? Well, here's a baby one. It's a few years old now, but he's doing exactly the same job. He's found a spot. He's trying very hard to move up to the sunshine. And if we look, he's blowing this way. The wind, the prevailing wind is blowing it this way. That's why he's leaning this way. Can't help but be moved by the wind, so that's why he's going that way. Very clever. Now, lots more of these scribbly gums. They're beautiful. And here, look at these. These guys found a great spot to grow. Look at this Banksia here. This is going to be really big and tall and beautiful, this one. Isn't it glorious? What a beautiful colour pink. Marvellous. Now, let's have a look over here. There might be another good spot to actually have a camp. Let's have a look. So we're walking through here. I'm being very careful not to tread on all the big plants to break them. And I'm actually using the flat bits around here are actually animal tracks. So we're just going past them. We don't have to walk on everything. Oh, this looks good. Ah! Wow! Now we're talking. Now this looks like a good place to build a camp. We've got a fallen over tree. We've got lots and lots of wood that we can lean up like this to make the shelter itself. This could be a really good spot, and later on I'm going to investigate it a little bit more to see if this is the spot to actually have our base camp. What do you think? We've got a beautiful view. It's quite sheltered. It's going to be quite easy to clean because there's a lot of stone around here as well. Now, I was going to show you something I discovered that I thought was really, really cool. Now, because, like I say, people are saying don't use plastics in July. Plastic-free July, it's called. There's lots of things that we can do. Now, phone cases. See my phone case? Now, Alex is holding my phone to actually do the filming. But see this phone case? That's actually made of recycled plastic. And I can, if you want some information on the guys that actually make these, drop me an email, wildkidsaustralia@gmail.com, and I can tell you all about them. They're very good. However, that's not all we need to do. So, when I'm going to build my den, I'm going to use natural string. This is sisal, and it's natural. So we can use natural string, so no plastics there. Got my first aid kit. I've got my sample pots to find if we find any bugs. We can put them in these here, and these are plastic, but because I bought them specially for when I go into centres because they've got the magnifying glass there. Okay. See? But you don't need to use that. You can use jars just as easily, or yogurt pots just as easily. They're totally brilliant. Now, also, what I discovered is that, and this is something that you can do. I'm putting this out because if I was going to chop any wood, I've actually got an axe with me today just in case I want to chop some branches, but I'm keeping it safe in my bag. Okay, now, but don't judge me, but I like crisps. Hands up who like crisps. Hands up who could eat crisps every single day for a bajillion years. Hands up who like, oh, here's a contentious one. Hands up who likes crisps more than chocolate. Yeah. Hands up who can make a shelter out of crisps. Yeah, you can. Because I made this earlier. Don't judge me about the amount of packets of crisps. Don't judge me. But what you can do with your empty crisp packets, because you can't recycle these at all. You can't recycle crisps, but you can repurpose them. Okay? And what you can do is you can reseal them together, and you can make somewhere to sit. And all I've done, mums and dads, educators, is get an old iron, don't use a good one, with the steam off, greaseproof paper, and bosh bosh, zoom zoom, and because they're heat sealed, they're sealed, and you can make a blanket. And what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to make a shelter out of this. Now, I wouldn't use this shelter in the woods. I'm going to use natural materials in the woods. But if you get enough of these together, you can make a perfect blanket to sit on outside. If you get enough of them, it takes a while. If you get enough of them, you could put some holes in it, and you could actually make a tent or a shield, sun shield. And in fact, what you could do, and thinking about it, if I was stuck in the wilds, because of that silver foil, you can actually wrap yourself up in this, and it could be one of those space blankets that you see marathon runners being given when they've done all their miles, just to keep their own heating. And that could be a really good survival thing. And thinking about that for homeless people too. Okay, so I think I'm going to stick around. I think I'm going to stay around here and do a bit more exploring, because this place is brilliant. It might not be the perfect space, but we've already got the start of a frame to build our den, haven't we? So maybe this is the spot. But I'm going to stay around a little bit longer, and I'm going to actually start to make our den and make it really, really super duper over the holidays, because now you're going on holidays over in Australia, at all you wild kids who are at school, we've got the midwinter break, so we've got 2 weeks to build a den, and you could send me pictures, couldn't you? You can send them on my Facebook page, which you know obviously because you're on it now, and you can also send them to me at Gmail, wildkidsaustralia@gmail.com, and you can send me your pictures of your dens. And we can make big ones, we can make small ones, we could even make ones for our Lego friends, our Barbies, and all the dolls, and our bears, and our teddies, and everything. So we could do that, we can make a den. Maybe you'll use your crisp packets. Maybe you'll use natural materials like this because we're out in the bush, but you can make a den anywhere. And I'm going to show you a few ways how to do that in the next couple of episodes of Wild Kids Australia, okay? So, once again, thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been really fun. We found so much today. We found caterpillars. We found loads and loads of termites. We found those brilliant squiggly gums. We found a dragonfly that hopefully you've been able to see on the pictures, but it's a bit hard with the camera. And beautiful boronia flowers. And we found out about coral fungus. Fantastic. So much to see in such a short time. We are very, very lucky to be here, and I'm so grateful to all of you for tuning in each time we've done this. Fingers crossed I'll be able to come and see you really soon out in your centres or wherever you are, especially in Australia. I don't know about the UK, but in Australia, Canada I'd love to as well. But until next time, sending you lots of love here in Australia, and I'll see you really, really soon. Take care, everybody. Bye. See ya. I'm going to go over here and see if I can find some wood.